Why do I keep doing YouTube? Recently, quite a few unpleasant things happen in my life. Well, unpleasant is to say the least. I got on the radar of the Russian state. Secret police KGB follows me regularly. The Western states have been denying me, and the latest, Putin's associate, one of the premier Russia's propagandists and the chief architect of the Russian world ideology, Alexander Dugin, personally insulted and threatened me. Yes, it's been making splashes even in Russia. I live in a constant feeling of unease. A few people recently, after Dugin approached and asked, "Why do you still do YouTube?" Well, really, why? I started this YouTube channel as a hobby and sort of a tribute to Russia. Russia was always greatly misunderstood by foreigners, and I wanted to show my country the way I saw it, the way I loved it. I was showing Russia through my eyes. That changed on February 24th, 2022. Russia invaded Ukraine and became the aggressor. How do I put it mildly? My world changed. Everything I believed in fell apart. On that day, new Constantine was born. The new one was not going to be silent. You see, I had been silent for 20 years prior. I returned to Russia after spending 9 years in the USA, and the first thing I did, I accepted Russia's rules. I accepted the corruption, I accepted growing role of the state, I accepted increasing political oppression. It all started small, and it seemed insignificant back then, but it was already there when I returned to Russia in 2004. It all started with Khodorkovsky arrest, and I accepted everything, and I was living by the rules of Russia silently, witnessing how the beast was growing in size and in strength. And I did nothing to stop it. Moreover, I was feeding it with taxes and, what's most important, with political apathy. So when Ukraine was attacked, my world changed. My eyes opened. I realized personal responsibility for that invasion. And from accepting the responsibility came guilt. Many over the years said, "Konstantin, you're not guilty. It's not you. It's Putin. It's his friends. It's Russian generals. It's someone else." Well, that's a very convenient way, and it's very Russian way. Most Russians say exactly that. It's not my fault. I didn't attack Ukraine. I didn't make that decision. It's not my fault. I'm not responsible. But they did. They're saying it privately now. But mark my words, after the war is over and the truth comes out, all Russians will be screaming loudly that it wasn't their fault but Putin's fault. Well, I am the unusual Russian, and I feel I am responsible for the war, and I am guilty no matter what they say. And not just me, all my fellow Russians are, and they deny fiercely when I confront them. They get mad when I put them on the spot and I say that they're also guilty. They get so upset that they start attacking me. That's happened quite a few times. I think that today I am the only Russian out of 146 million who has accepted the responsibility for the war. It seems surreal. On February 24th, 2022, I decided I would not be silent any longer. Inside Russia has changed. From being a hobby, it became my voice and my stand. It was a scary decision, knowing that I was standing up defenseless against the Russian machine, the Goliath, but the anger, the feeling of responsibility, and the guilt inside were much bigger than any fear. Those feelings have been consuming me ever since. Since I started daily Inside Russia broadcasts the first day of the invasion, I have lost a great deal of everything. I've lost my house, my cars, my executive job, my status, my income, most of the material things I had in my life. I left Russia on a 36-hour notice with 2 suitcases, a backpack, and $7,000 in my pocket. That's all I could get out of Russia. It's all I had. But there are far worse things than to lose the money and the income and the material things. I lost some of my friends. With some, I fought. And some, I just drifted from them apart. Even worse, I lost some members of the family. Distant family, but it still hurts very much. We don't talk anymore. I lost my home and my country. And that's one of the worst things, to lose your country, to be countryless. It's like being a stray dog. You don't have home and you aren't welcome anywhere. We are welcomed by people, but not by their governments. That's how it works these days. My older kids understand and accept, and it doesn't make it easier for them, but they understand. My youngest one is struggling with identity. He asked me one day, "Daddy, who am I?" And I didn't know what to answer. That's what I mean. How to lose your country, how to be countryless. I lost my monetization from Google, the ability to earn money in a transparent way. Google has been refusing to remonetize me outside Russia, and that is a still mystery to me why. It appears to be because of my stand against the war and against the Russian government, that someone inside Google, perhaps covertly, I don't know that, doesn't like. I don't know. I wish they would simply explain. I basically rely on donations now for my well-being, for my existence. And you know what? It is a very humbling experience. From being an executive of a large corporation for many years to relying on donations, living in exile, and be countryless. I'm actually very glad. All donations I get through Patreon, PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee show how much people care, how much they value what they get from me, how much they love me and love what I do. I humbly accept all the help and support that comes my way. It is very humbling and very miraculous experience, something unlike I ever felt in my life before. I'm actually very glad and I thank God for this experience. I also lost ability to travel freely. No, that's very important. As Russian citizen, I am not only not welcomed, but not allowed into many countries. The countries I like, I admire, I find the beacons of democracy and great countries, just beacon of humanity, really. The USA, Canada, the UK, France, Italy, Greece, Spain, and other countries, all are off limits to me now. The funny part is that some of Z people in Russia, Z Russians who support Putin and his war openly, are allowed to travel there. And us who chose to leave Russia, stand up against the war, and live in exile are punished. But that's how it works these days. Losing free travel hurts. But you know what? The most important thing that I've lost is safety. Russia's secret police KGB follows me, sometimes covertly and sometimes openly, arrogantly sending me messages like, "We see you, we know where you are, we can do anything to you at any time." And now Putin's buddy and the architect father of the Russian world ideology, Alexander Dugin, has personally insulted and threatened me. That is very scary. Very. So here comes the question. Why do I still do YouTube then? I'm one of the few on YouTube who speak the truth about Russia and Russians. I document, break down, analyze, and inform. I speak the truth, I never lie. I broadcast information people trust, and that is rare. On top of that, I give hope for Russia. Because even if one person out of 146 million takes responsibility, not all is lost for Russia. I want to change hearts, not minds. Hearts first. Minds follow hearts. I want to show that not all Russians are bloodthirsty and support the war. And this is why I continue doing YouTube. I feel it is much needed and very important. I also continue my work here because it gives me more than I lost. I've been able to connect to hundreds of thousands of people. 400,000 people all over the world have subscribed to my work and watched my videos and broadcasts over 110 million times. Can you imagine that? That is almost the population of the entire Russia. Some have become my virtual friends, and some real friends, believe it or not. It's hard to find new friends when you are in your late 40s, and I have managed to do that. It's a miracle. Inside Russia is not just a YouTube channel any longer. It has become a worldwide community. I know quite a few people by their names here. You know who you are. And I'm happy to turn the live stream chat on every time I do that because I know I am among like-minded people who care, support, and love. I pray online along with thousands of people. Have you seen a church where 7,000 people pray simultaneously? It's happened here inside Russia quite a few times. I am incredibly grateful for the people of this community. I am incredibly grateful for the moderators who have become my advisors and friends. I've become rich, not with money, but with relationships and the community, the good wishes, the prayers, and love. Having this level of connection with people has become incredible. It's become addictive. Work here at Inside Russia on YouTube has helped me shape my stand and my life's mission. I help those Russians who have decided to stand up against the war and leave, and those Ukrainians who have fled the war in any way I can, by helping financially, by helping them to find new homes. I know